This is much better. The sliding's better, everything's better. I'm more comfortable. It worked out. I'm gonna light some Palo Santo. Get rid of some of these negativities going on in my head. All right. I gotta not look at me. I gotta look at you. Well, I'm Meg, and I've spent the last several years hiding. I used to be a very social person. I used to put myself out there. I was on a TV show. And I don't know. I just kind of went into this cocoon phase. I had gone through a lot of unhealthy experiences at the time. I had yet to recover from any of them. I had yet to face any of that. I was still in the mindset that a lot of things were my fault. I mean, if we're being real here, we got to consider the fact that sometimes maybe it is a little bit our fault, but it's completely unconscious and unintentional. You know, it's patterns that we're repeating unconsciously that we don't even know about. Anyways, I've spent the last several years hiding, not just from social media, not just from other people, but literally from my life. I stopped moving forward. I stopped trying to succeed. I completely lost trust in myself. The unhealthy experiences I went through, for a long time, I thought that just isolating was the best thing I could do. And it really was. For a while, it was the only thing that got me through. It gave me space to heal, it gave me space to be alone. But I eventually realized I completely disappeared. It took me years to realize this. I just recently realized this. I'm 34 years old now. I started isolating myself probably around, I want to say 29 years old, 28, 29, my Saturn return. Oh my gosh. The more you get to know me, the more stories you're going to get to hear. But right now, we're talking about why I've been hiding and how I am finally feeling okay to start coming back again. I'm ready to put myself back out there. I am at this place where it's like, you know what? I'm over this. I'm over of hiding away. I'm over of isolating. I'm over healing. I mean, obviously, healing is a never-ending thing. There's no destination when it comes to healing. If you know, you know. You really just gotta let yourself live sometimes, or you're gonna be stuck in this place of constantly working on yourself and never feeling good enough. And that is not a fun place to be. I've been there. I've been there for a long time. You know, I did all this healing, all this work on myself, and what are we saying? Like 6 years, almost 8 years later, I still don't feel like I know who I am. Like I'm good enough to put myself out there because I don't even know who I'm putting out there right now. So that's kind of what my page is going to be about. I'm going to be finding myself again. So, anyways, I realized I had just completely disappeared. The truth is, I started hiding because I no longer recognized who I became as a person. I did not recognize the person I was becoming. I was angry. I was exhausted. I was heartbroken. When I say I was exhausted, I think I hit a burnout point in life. All of the people pleasing, all of everything that I had put myself through up until that point knocked me down. I was knocked down. I was in bed literally for years. I am not exaggerating. It was a very miserable, dark place. And so, for the first time in my life, I had started looking at my patterns and realizing how much of my identity had been built on people pleasing. My whole identity. So I was lost. I became fucking lost. I was completely lost. I spent years trying to earn love, avoid conflict, make sure everyone else was comfortable. It got to the point where I would disappoint myself just so I can avoid disappointing the people around me. Like, what? I was so afraid of disappointing people. I ignored my own boundaries. I ignored my intuition. I ignored my own needs. And it all eventually caught up with me. Honestly, I ignored my basic needs a lot. Like, oh gosh. And I mean, we all go through depressions. If you're even running into my page, you deal with depression and anxiety like I do. But this was so much more than your typical depression. It wasn't your typical one. I spent years not doing my eyebrows, not shaving my legs, not doing my makeup, not taking care of myself, not making myself feel good about myself. By the end of the 7 years, I only owned big t-shirts and sweatpants and leggings and hoodies. That was my wardrobe. A lot of it still is. I'm trying so fucking hard to work out of that wardrobe. That's not me anymore. I am not a caterpillar anymore. I am a butterfly that is going to spread her wings, and I want to dress pretty. I want to look pretty. I want to complement my features. I just, I've struggled a lot with confidence my whole life anyways. I really just want to own myself and not let myself rot away in sweatpants anymore. Don't get me wrong, I love my sweatpants. I'm wearing them right now. I love sweats. I love comfies. But I need to feel pretty more often. All that eventually caught up with me. Okay, so the hardest realization wasn't that I had been hurt. I think the hardest realization was learning how often I abandoned myself. So I retreated to my cave. That's where I went. I cut everybody off. Think of your life in 2019, 2020. Was it good? I feel like no. I feel like a lot of people have similar feelings about that time that I did. I was not in a good place. And honestly, physically, I was sick a lot. My body felt sick all the time. It was a time where my body was realizing I'm done drinking, I'm done soothing, I'm done. But if you know how hard it is to let go of patterns, you know how hard that was. That was like going to hell and back. Letting go of all that, but not realizing what was happening, not realizing that you were going through an awakening or that you were entering an era that would lead you to an awakening. It was hard. I went even harder on substance abuse. I'll go more into that in another video. Anyways, I reached a point where my nervous system couldn't do it anymore. I stopped showing up. I stopped posting. I was a social media person at the time. I had a following from the TV show and I liked to keep up with. I felt so raw, exposed, and untrusting of the world that I didn't feel comfortable anymore. I didn't feel like myself anymore. I didn't know who I was anymore. So honestly, posting, it didn't feel right. Water break. So I deleted social media. I was in conflicts with a lot of people that I cared about at the time. We were all going through these crazy mindsets. Like we were all in a dark place. I think a lot of people, a lot of America, a lot of the world was. Watching that trickle down into your personal life. I'm sure you have your own stories where you just realize what a toxic time that was for you. So I blocked people. I moved across the country with my boyfriend. I spent years mostly alone. Literally alone. You move across the country, tell me how easy it is to make friends. It's not. You don't. At least not for a little while, you don't. Did not. I was a recluse. I was very shy still, very paranoid, but very comfortable because I'm in a place where I know I'm not going to see anybody I know. So it was much better being there. It was the first time I could actually hear myself think. For the first time in my life, there were no outside voices telling me who I should be. There were no expectations, no performing, no audience, just me. When you are going through a healing process, your brain is an asshole. Like you could be doing so good, but your brain is always gonna be a bitch. It's gonna tell you some shitty shit about yourself that isn't true. I digress from that. The solitude itself saved my life. I would say it actually saved my life because it gave me space to heal. It gave me space to grieve. It gave me space to figure out who I was underneath all the roles that I had been playing. But it did come with a cost. I lost any ounce of confidence I ever had. I lost opportunities, of course. I lost money. I lost years where I could have been working towards a future, where I could have been happy, where I could have been out in the world. There's a lot that I could have done. I have grieved that. I found peace with that because I think we forget that we are exactly where we're supposed to be in every moment. That's where I was supposed to be. I wasn't meant to be anywhere else. I tried to do all these things and I couldn't fit into any mold. None of it worked. So I was being forced to be alone. I was being forced to be with myself. So, in hindsight, I realized that's exactly where I was supposed to be. So I have no regrets doing that. More than anything, though, I did lose trust in myself. That's hard. That's hard to gain back. It's still hard to gain back. I find myself still to this day asking for reassurance from the people I care about. Thankfully, I have people in my life that I love and trust and will tell me the truth, and they hype me up. I'm very thankful. Not even a handful of people, but they mean the world to me. I like to keep my circle small because when I had a huge circle, no. I am not a big circle person anymore. When your entire identity falls apart, you just stop knowing what's real. That's because when your entire identity falls apart, you don't trust your own decisions. It was actually, I stopped trusting my own decisions. I didn't trust my instincts. I just didn't trust myself. And that was one of the hardest parts of all of this. I am trying to gain that trust back. I have definitely been very aware of the things that come to me, the knowing that I feel in situations where I am either being manipulated or used or taken advantage of or whatever it is, and just distancing myself from people like that. It is still a challenge for sure. I do struggle. I struggle to trust myself still. We're all going to work on that together. What I'm realizing now is that something has shifted. I'm starting to realize that the thing that protected me, isolation, is now limiting me. Hiding gave me exactly what I needed for a reason. It gave me peace, safety, it gave me room to heal. But I know deep down inside that I'm not meant to stay there forever. And I know I am ready to get out of that cocoon. I'm ready to crawl out of my cave. But I do want you to know that you're not meant to stay there forever, because it'll be hard and you will convince yourself that you are meant to stay there forever. You are meant to hide away. You are meant to have this soft, secret life, and nobody's meant to ever see you, and you're just supposed to hide away, and you're noble and whatever, Your brain's trying to protect you still. You're meant to shine. If you deep down inside know you're meant for more than this, you are not meant to stay there forever. Stay as long as you need to, but don't stay forever and don't stay too long. The truth is, I miss myself. I miss my voice. I miss the parts of me that wanted more from life. I miss putting myself out there and not being afraid to just go learn the world. I don't want to spend the rest of my life sitting in my cave wondering what could have been. So I think the most important thing is to just face your fears. Posting this video is going to be facing a huge fear. I'm scared of what people are going to think of me speaking the way I am right now, me just being myself at the camera. I want to be seen. I want to connect. I want to build something meaningful. And I want to meet more people like me. I make videos because I know I'm not the only person trying to find their way back to themselves. If you're starting over, if you're rebuilding, if you're trying to trust yourself again, you're not alone. I'm doing it too. And maybe we could figure some of it out together. I would love to share my journey with you guys. That would be great. It's going to help me feel better. It's going to be fun. So this is me stepping out of hiding. Like, I'm actually stoked right now that I just finished this video. Shy Guy Meg. Bye.